get ready, because this just might be one of the most amazing action figures that NECA has ever released. Now, if you grew up in the 80s watching Sesame Street, just like I did, this Sesame Street Ultimate Ernie action figure is going to hit you right in the nostalgia. I mean, at first glance, the details, the accessories, it just seems to be perfection on the Sesame Street line. But is this truly the ultimate Sesame Street Ernie action figure we've been waiting for? So stick around here at Nerdmation to watch this full showcase as we're going to check out all the features on this Ernie action figure. You're not going to want to miss it. Now, checking out the Sesame Street action figure of Ernie from NECA. First off, the packaging here, we have this wonderful illustration of Ernie right here, getting ready to take a bath, because bath time is a lot of fun, especially with a rubber ducky. We have that this Sesame Street is featuring the letter C, love that, and the fact that there's a volume 1 that I can see up here gets me really excited, because I'm thinking there's going to be a lot more Sesame Street action figures out there. I know we have Ernie, I know I've seen Bert, his companion, his pal, and I've even seen, I think at the SDCC, the Count as well. But that's about it so far, so I'm hoping we're going to get a lot of more Sesame Street Ultimate action figures from NECA. Then we get that wonderful Sesame Street logo right here. That just brings back a whole lot of, well, the whole thing brings back a whole lot of childhood nostalgia. And on the left-hand side right here, we have the Sesame Street logo as well as Ernie's name. But we have that wonderful illustration, a new one of Ernie, standing up on a toy block number 1 right here in a nice, wonderful blue. And that same is going to hold true on the other side as well. The top, we have the Sesame Street logo, and we have Bert and Ernie right here giving a little read at a NECA book, which is pretty awesome. And on the bottom side, we have all those great people at NECA who brought this action figure to life, from the packaging, illustration, as well as the model action figure inside that we'll see in just a second. Flipping it over to the back, we have these wonderful toy photography shots of Ernie in these classic poses that you would have seen him in Sesame Street, outside of probably his legs, because we never saw his legs before. But again, he's at the quintessential wall with the letter C. He's with his pal Bert right here. I'm just, I can't wait to open this figure up. This is just giving me so many happy feels, to tell you the truth. Now, opening this figure up at the front with the classic NECA style packaging, we have a great, again, toy photography shot of Ernie right here holding his rubber ducky inside of his house that he shares with Bert. And we actually get the first look of the action figure. Ernie is the full-size action figure, alternate head, rubber ducky, some alternate hands, the letter C that we saw, and a picture of him, Bert, and Ernie. And it looks like we also get a little bit of a background illustration that we can use for posing, should you want. And honestly speaking, I am super excited to get this action figure out, so let's go ahead and do that. But we're not here for boxes. Now let's take a closer look at the accessories that we get with this Ernie figure. First off, we have this great picture frame of Bert and Ernie, and it's actually a painted portrait of them. And I like the fact it's got this old school frame around it. Almost looks like it's been on the wall for a while with a little bit of dust. Really nice. And if you're into toy photography, especially using dioramas, NECA's got you covered there, because he even gave you a section where you can hang this on the wall. So that's really cool. So I expect a lot of creative toy photography in this kind of a whole Sesame Street theme deal. Next, we have this alternate head of Ernie with an open mouth smile that just kind of shows the happiness and joys that this character has, especially what he's known for on Sesame Street. Then we got this great letter C with the googly eyes and different size eyes as well, and it's got this wonderful kind of almost foam texture, though not actually made out of foam, but more of that kind of texture that's used for the puppets. And it's just really beautifully done. Got a little bit of a flat bottom, so that way you can kind of stand up to see. But this is just great. This just makes me so happy to have. We have Ernie's rubber ducky, because bath time, again, is no fun without a rubber ducky. And this is something that he's always had in the Sesame Street series. So this is wonderfully done. This is just a nice touch for him to have. And Ernie does come with 2 sets of alternate hands. One is a kind of more grasping style with a little bit of openness, so that way he can hold things, and the other is more of a open pointing finger deal, so that way he can address things, point to stuff that he does on the Sesame Street show. Alright, now let's go ahead and check out the details on the actual Ernie figure. Now let's check out the details on this Ernie Sesame Street action figure. Overall, the body, the sculpt looks amazing, and I'm really thrilled really excited about this. Just right now, just holding it in my hand, it makes me so happy. I'm getting those 80s nostalgia Sesame Street vibes as a kid watching Ernie and Bert. Just kind of teaching me about the alphabets and feelings and stuff like that. This is just amazing. Thank you, NECA, first off, on this. All right, looking at the head, I mean, he's got the iconic shape and coloring, that kind of football style shape, that mop top of spiky hair at the top, which is in soft plastic. Those kind of, I don't know if you call them button eyes, button googly eyes, or kind of like googly eyes, but those are great right here. The colorful red nose. He has that foam texture around his kind of like quote unquote skin, that kind of Muppet puppetry foam deal. And this head is the closed mouth version. And as you saw earlier, he does have an open mouth version. But even as the closed mouth version, it is a ear to ear grin. You can definitely see all the joy and happiness that is in Ernie, just waiting to share. I love the tiny little ears. You even get that deal where, like, I don't know what you would call this part of the anatomy, where it just kind of not a crinkle. It's I don't know about what that part of the lip would be called. If you know in the comments, let me know. But I just love how it just shaped around there due to his smiling. And then going down from the head, you have him in his iconic sweater that he always wears. That nice bunch of banding right here at the neck, down there at the bottom torso, as well as the wrist cuffs in that nice yellowy color, kind of orangey yellow. And then the iconic stripe that has always been in his sweaters, from the red, blues, and a little bit of, like, I guess if you can see it, yellow and white striping. This is just great. And it's a nice soft plastic, as you can see right here at the torso. Hard plastic here at the arms, obviously. And they even give it shape and tugging as you would have on a sweater. And it looks just gorgeous overall. Ooh, that's interesting. My version looks like it has a little bit of a paint defect. Is that a paint defect? Oh no, that's a gouge mark right there. So that probably won't see that in most Ernie figures. Somehow I have that in mind, so that's a shame on the NECA QC. But I'm still happy with the figure, let's just say that. So you probably won't see him from the side too often. That's okay. He does have these wonderful open gestured hands, as we can see. Really nice, very open, very friendly, as you would have for a puppet that is part of a kids show. So really like these. And then coming down, we do get to see Ernie's legs. Normally he's behind the wall. I mean, he is a puppet after all, but he's wearing nice blue jeans, as we can tell, light blue. Lots of indentions, lots of pull and tug. There is a great fabric detail and pattern through everything on these jeans. Really nicely done. I love the fact that they're baggy, they're loose, the end in a cuff right here above his sneakers. And it's also cool with the sneakers, it looks like he is rocking some Converse kind of style. The red and white, or it used to be white. It's very interesting. From the head down to the bottom of his sweater and his hands, they are very clean. There is no wash, very solid colors. But when you get down to the pants and to the shoes, we have a black wash along the pants and a brown wash on the shoes to really just kind of show age, wear and tear, and use. So not sure why that is. I don't hate it. I really like it. Gives me kind of that whole wear and tear. He's walking a lot, doing a heck of a lot. Almost kind of like how kids basically never clean their clothes, in the sense they're always getting dirty. So he's just out and about having fun. But I love the details of the shoes right here. I mean, it does look like he's rocking some awesome Chucks that have seen some adventures, as we can tell, with all that kind of brown wash going throughout. And the fact that he does have wonderful little peg holes right here for a peg display. So that's going to be really nice to help with the balance. I can't wait to start doing some poses with this figure. Obviously not action poses, but we're going to see what we can achieve with Ernie right here. Right, let's move on. I'm really hoping you're enjoying this ultimate action figure review of the Sesame Street character of Ernie from NECA. And if you are, go ahead and smash that like button. And if you're new to the channel, consider subscribing. And let me know in the comments below if you're planning on starting your own Sesame Street collection. Because I know I am. I'm loving these figures. It's giving me great childhood nostalgia vibes. And I just love what NECA is doing with the Sesame Street line in the ultimate form. Now let's go ahead and check out the articulation of this Ernie from NECA. And I don't expect a whole lot of articulation with this figure. He's not your standard fighting action figure that we normally see. But, I mean, this is Sesame Street for Pete's sake. He's not supposed to be doing high kicks or whatnot. This is a celebration of Sesame Street, of learning, and of childhood nostalgia. So, let's get into it. As for his head, which we'll start out with first, he has a nice smooth rotation around. Not really anything side to side, very minimal. Forward, not really anything. Backwards, not really too much. It's going back to neutral. A lot of restriction right here at the collar of his sweater. That seems to be about it on the articulation of the head. Let's check out the T-motion at the shoulders. Decent T-motion here for Ernie. Alright. Rotation at the shoulders is really good. Let's see. Elbow articulation. Really nice. Really nice. And he does spin right there as well, so that's pretty good. Wrist area. Nice spin around. And they do point inwards really well right here at the wrist, as well as outwards too. They did leave a lot of good space right here at the ending of the sweater, so there's no restriction there, so that's really good. That seems to be about it with the arms. Here at the torso that I can tell, he does spin around a good nice 360, that's good. Side to side, very minor. The restriction right here of the sweater, I think that's also going to hold true. A little bit crunching forward, and not too much crunching back. So minor there. As for the legs, dude, he does split actually pretty decently, so that's not too bad. Really good there. It does back to neutral. Kicking forward, not too bad as well. Decently placed. Back might not be so much. There is a lot of restriction right here again with the sweater. But I mean, again, he's not going to be doing kicks or anything like that. As for the knees, he does have minor articulation. As you can see, it's pretty stiff out of the blocks. But that's about as far as it looks like he's going to be able to go right there. I don't think he has too much. Some hip rotation right there. The knee joint actually does spin around, as we can see, so that's really nice. Feet really kind of point downwards, goes back to neutral, doesn't point upwards. Again, probably not needed when posing this figure. Side to side, minor. It is again on a ball joint. That seems to be about it on this articulation of this Ernie action figure. So let's check out the size of this beloved Sesame Street character. And old Ernie here does stand out to be about 5.5 inches tall, from the bottom of his chucks all the way to his spiky black hair. And no matter what you collect, this Sesame Street character is going to fit in with any collector's collection. No matter if it's anime, Ninja Turtles, Street Fighter, or just your favorite 80s character, these Sesame Street characters are definitely a must to get. And there you have it, the ultimate Ernie action figure from NECA. This thing is pure childhood nostalgia, and I absolutely love how much care and detail went into bringing this childhood favorite of mine to life. And if you're a longtime Sesame Street fan, like I am, this is going to be a must-have to get in your collection or even start your Sesame Street collection. But we're just getting started here at Nerd Amazing, as we've got more incredible action figure reviews to share with you, like this right here. So make sure to hit that subscribe button, turn on the notifications, as we got more collectibles coming your way. This is Adam with Nerd Amazing, and I'll see you next time. Bye!